Hi and welcome back to another video. My name is Nia and I've got another writing vlog for you today. I've got several topics I would like to discuss. Is the treadmill too loud? I don't have my mic today, so this is just phone audio. But I got a new phone which has better audio than my old phone. Let me check it. I've come to pay the cat tax. You Houdini, you don't want to be up here? You don't want to snuggle with me? Okay, say bye-bye. I've updated my writing setup, so I have my little nook in my bedroom, but I also got a treadmill with a standing desk so that I can write and walk at the same time. And I like it so much better. Like, I'm able to focus. Because like something that I had started doing is I would go on like walks in the morning, like for 30 minutes or an hour before I would do my writing session, and I would do like 30 minutes or an hour, and it would just depend on what time I woke up and what time I needed to leave to get to work. I try to wake up at 6. I am not always successful, but I'm a morning person, so I do usually wake up at like 6:30, and then I would go for a walk for like 30 minutes, an hour. If I wake up at 6, I try to do an hour for a walk. If I wake up at 6:30, I try to do 30 minutes so that I have more time to write. And then sometimes if it's just 30 minutes that I have, I might jog parts of it, but I've been working up to jogging and I actually like it. Again, I used to hate running because I have asthma, and I didn't know I had asthma, and I was on the track team when I was younger, and I always struggled to breathe. Like, it was so fun, but I had such awful, like, I could not breathe, and I was just silently struggling the whole time. And even though I really liked it, I was like, I can't keep doing this, and I ended up quitting track for a few years, and then I tried it again, but then my asthma was even worse when I was a little older, and I tried it again, and I was like, nah. And then I didn't run, but I was also in band, which that did help a bit because I was doing breathing exercises all the time in band. So that with the track, even though I was struggling a lot, my breath support was actually really strong. But then I stopped all of that, and I didn't really run for I would walk, I would ride my bike a lot, but I didn't run. And so then I was like, I want to get back into running. I feel like antsy in my body, I want to run. So I started trying to do that again. Couldn't do it, had to go to see a sports doctor because I have weak Achilles tendons and I'm prone to shin splints because I ran track as a child. What was the point of me talking about any of that? This is not going to be like a really edited video. I'm trying to get back into doing the vlogs, and so I'm just going to be talking, and we're just going to go where all of my ADHD tangents take me. Oh, because I'm walking on a treadmill, and that's why I started talking about that. So anyways, doing that type of like physical activity, or even if I didn't go for a walk, like maybe it was raining or I didn't have time, I would try to do some like short burst of like exercise. Like I would do like a 5 or 10 minute ab workout, and like even that with like just doing like something would help, and then I was able to focus more when I was writing. And so I was like, well, I have trouble sometimes writing where like sitting down, being in a space, trying to write, can be difficult, and I have issues sometimes focusing on what I'm trying to write. And so I try all these different things, but every time I sit down for a writing session, I have different focusing issues. It's not always the exact same thing, and the exact same fix doesn't work every single time. So like one day I might sit down to write, and I turn on all the lights, and it has to be completely silent, and I'm like in the zone. Another time I have to play music, but the music has to have words, but it has to be like a certain vibe of music that is not like a real genre, and it only makes sense in my brain, which is why I have all of these random Spotify playlists that are like, an outsider might look at them and be like, these songs don't make sense together, but for me, like my brain, it makes sense for them. And so like I have to play like a specific playlist that has a specific vibe, and it has to be at a certain volume that's loud enough that I can hear it, but not so loud that I can hear the words and that it's starting to distract me from what I'm writing. And then other times I'm like, there's too much happening. I want the lights off. I just want my fairy lights on, and I need instrumental music that's like, you know, movie soundtracks and like cinematic, you know, no words, nothing, like not even like choir vocals that are just sound like or I need to be standing, or I can't work in this space, I need to be in a different space, or I need to sit like this, or just all these different things that I'm always having to like figure out, like every day when I go to write, what do I have to do today to set it up so that my brain will work and I can continue and work on my projects and stuff. Where's my water bottle? I should have changed. I came home from work and I was like, I'm gonna do this and knock it out before it gets really late, because I was at work late, and so I just got home. I've only been home for maybe an hour. Have I been home for 2 hours? I don't know where the time went. I wanted to do this before it got even later, and my outfit was cute.
It was at this moment she knew she had messed up.
Look at little me. I'm so cute. Okay. I had closed the door because my family's upstairs and they're very loud and they make a lot of noise. But they keep opening the door because I can't wait to watch this back and see how much of that sound that's happening upstairs is translating to here. I was talking about getting my treadmill and my standing desk and how I like it so much because it helps me focus better. Why did I say it like that? When I'm writing, because one of the things that I would do when I was writing is I have my rocking chair, and like that helped do stuff. I also have my yoga ball and I would sit on that sometimes. But my desk in my room is too low for the yoga ball, so sometimes it would be like I would end up like hunching unintentionally after like writing for, especially if it's a day off, I would write for like hours, and it would help like moving around. I got these little they're like foot massage balls, like they're like small and they're kind of like spiky, and you roll them under your feet. You can roll them anywhere, but they're for your feet, and I would use those sometimes. If I was sitting on a regular chair, I could roll my feet on those, and it was just like I figured out that like doing something while I was writing, having some kind of activity was helping me focus and like stay on track. And I've been wanting a standing desk with a treadmill for years, and maybe it wasn't a good idea to film this right after work, even though apparently 2 hours passed between me coming home, between me getting off of work, driving home, and starting this recording. 2 hours lapsed. Don't know where that time went, because all I remember is getting off of work. I came home, I went to the bathroom, I poked my sister in the stomach, I greeted all the cats, and then I set up for this. And setting this up did not take long at all. All of this long-winded stuff that I've been saying, and all of these random tangents that I've been going on, the topic of this video is dealing with writer's block And I think I'll make like a more, I don't know, I might just say all my points here. My cat has the zoomies. If you hear that bell jingling, that's him. Well, you only get to see the one cat today because the other one, I'm talking about you. Anyways, ways to recognize. That was a crazy just to like jump into something. The topic of this video is writer's block. And first, I'm going to go over some things about how to recognize if what you're experiencing is writer's block or not. We're going to get through this. I have my notes in front of me. This is why if you watch my other writing blog videos, I script them and I read off of a teleprompter because I go all over the place without direction. But I wanted this to be a little more loosey-goosey just to see what it would be like and if I want to try this more or if I want to do hard scripts or if I want to kind of merge this loosey-goosey style with the scripting and see, I just want to try something and we'll see where it goes. Back on topic. Writer's block can appear in many different types. It can look like avoiding your writing and procrastinating, or it can look like something really productive, like constantly brainstorming or outlining, or, you know, I'm gonna write character sheets and write about the world building and do all of this other stuff. Or just like you keep rereading what you've written already. I'm gonna keep rereading it and rereading it and rereading it. Or you're like, oh, I'm doing research. That was me. That's me. I'm gonna do research. Oh, I'm just researching. I gotta research this. I gotta research that. Oh, let me brainstorm some stuff about. Oh, I had an idea about a plotline that could happen potentially, like, you know, in a book 3 of this series, and let me outline some stuff. And so it can look very productive or it can look very unproductive, but it's all writer's block. And there can be different causes of why you're experiencing the writer's block. Something I've learned and I've mentioned in a previous video is that whenever I was having the writer's block and recognizing that, oh, I'm having writer's block and I'm not just like procrastinating to procrastinate, which that is the case sometimes, but it's not always the time. Not always. It's, what was I even trying to say? It's not always, whatever, I'm gonna keep going. Identifying what those causes can be can help you break through the writer's block and continue working on your stuff and working on your story. Some of the things that when I notice that, oh, I'm engaging in writer's block, that sounds like weird, but like I'm procrastinating writing and I'm not moving forward, it was like a light bulb to be like, oh, I'm avoiding the writing for a reason. What is that reason? And figuring that out so that I can move forward. So some of the causes that I've noticed for myself could be like, maybe I wrote something, whatever I just wrote, I didn't like it. Or I might not know that I don't like it, but it's like, oh yeah, I completed this scene and I'm having trouble figuring out what to do next. I might have an outline or I might know like where like the story needs to go, but getting from point A to point C is hard because I need to figure out what is point B, but it's not connecting. And so if I realize like, oh, I'm having issues writing the next thing, is because something about what I just wrote, it's not working, and I need to go back and reread it and analyze what about it is not working so that I can fix it. Because usually when that happens, once I fix whatever the issue is, I keep going forward and I'm able to, now I'm in like the zone and I'm writing, 5,000 words in one sitting and it's just spitting out. And then my next writing sessions are all productive because I went back, found the I was trying to make a construction analogy, not a construction girly. The only construction I know is how to build furniture from online. Like, I don't know why I was trying to make an analogy in that realm for something I have no knowledge of. But you go back and you find that missing thing or that puzzle piece that doesn't fit into what you just wrote, and maybe you can pull it out, save it for later, and then figure out what was missing before or what needs to change or whatever it is. It can be a whole host of things. Maybe the pacing is off, maybe the actions that the characters take don't feel correct or like they're going in the right direction, or maybe you've written yourself into a corner that makes it hard to even figure out how the characters are going to get out of that situation to get to the next point. I just might need to rework some things. Also, sometimes what happens when I have writer's block is that maybe I wrote something and I liked it so much. It's like the exact opposite of what, like, the other issue, the other scenario. I liked what I wrote so much. I'm like in my head as the reader and like, oh, you just read this really cool thing. And then this next thing is like not good. Like, is it like how am I supposed to top what I just wrote because it was so good? Or how can I maintain that level of prose or whatever, or plot or whatever it was? And I feel like whatever I have outlined next or whatever I have in store for what's supposed to happen next doesn't feel like it's gonna match what I just wrote, and like it's gonna be of a lesser quality. And for that situation, you just gotta write bad, because that'll happen. Like, it's a draft, especially if it's whatever, it's a draft, that's what happened. Or sometimes if I'm having writer's block, this circles back to all of my tangents about walking and doing stuff at the beginning. I was like, oh, I'm trying to write, and the space that I'm in is not conducive to what I'm wanting to do. And so for all these different scenarios, and you might have different scenarios for yourself, you just have to figure out what is going on with you and what your causes are that are causing your writer's block, so that you can go about fixing them or changing things around. So for like, if I think what I just wrote was bad, like I said, I go back, figure out what is wrong, and I rewrite it or I change something that makes it work. Or sometimes I just start writing the next part, and then eventually it'll click. If I'm not sure what was wrong with the previous thing, if I just force myself to start writing the next part, even if it's bad, it's fine. If it's bad, you can fix bad. Like I said, I've said that a couple of times already in this word vomit. Like, you can fix bad, but you can't fix blank. I think that's a quote. That's like some version. It's like a famous quote, some version of what I just said. Continuing, it'll help you figure out like, oh, this is what's not working, and then you can go back and you can do rewrites, and then it'll help you move forward. Or if you are in the other scenario where you're like, I just wrote something I really liked, I need another sip of water. If you're in the other scenario where you just wrote something amazing and you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna stay at that level and match that or beat that, same advice as before. Just write, and write bad. And as long as you're writing, you can fix your bad writing, but you can't fix a blank page. You can't fix, concepts and ideas that are just floating in your head if you don't put them on the page. For like the other scenario that I talked about of like changing, like be like in your space and realizing it's not conducive, you have to like change stuff. Like, I already talked about this a bit, but I'm like, oh, I will move to a different spot, or I'll change lighting, I'll put on music. Now I have my desk, I've been writing and walking, and that's helped a lot. Or before I had my treadmill, I would go for a walk, and then all of the like energies would be out, and then I could sit down and I could focus for a breath, and then maybe I would take another break, and then walk again, or do some other physical activity, and then I would sit down and write again. And you know, maybe you have to schedule in breaks to your writing sessions, because trying to go full steam ahead for a full hour or 2 hours or 3 hours is not conducive to you. Or sometimes I've recently started, I tried out like body doubling, and there's a bunch of like videos online, like on YouTube and stuff, where you can like, if your friends are also writing, you can hop on Zoom. I've done that before, but my friends, we all have jobs, so our schedules aren't always the same. You can go find videos on YouTube that are like body doubling, study with me, write with me, whatever. Or sometimes what I'll do is I'll play, I don't want to listen to music, but I want sound. So I'll play like atmospheric sounds, like, you know, cafe sounds. And there's no music. I mean, sometimes there is, but sometimes there's not. It's just like sounds of like walking and people ordering and machines going, or like sounds of like being in a public, like a shared public space, where it's kind of like the sound, the audio is just like the static of the air, and like all the sounds are happening, but they're all mixed together. Nothing really sticks out, it all blends. And that helps sometimes as well. I mentioned before that I had different chairs that I would rotate through. I had my rocking chair, my yoga ball, my regular chair, with my foot massagers. Sometimes I would just stand and write, like I would find somewhere to just stand, moving to a different space. Sometimes, and like this can fall into the procrastination, where if you keep doing it and you don't start writing, then it can become a hindrance. But reading what you've written up to that point can spark ideas, or like remind you of stuff that you've written before, and that will help you move forward. But you don't want to get trapped where you're like, you fall into analyzing what you've written so like deeply that you're not able to, you just keep going back and fixing other stuff that you've already written, or rewriting stuff constantly. You don't want to get stuck in that, because then you got to keep writing and go forward. But doing a 1 or 2 passes of reading what you've written before to remind you with like, or see it with fresh eyes or whatever, in order to move forward, can help. Something I'll do like on my computer is I'll change the color of the Word document, or I'll change the layout so that maybe it's not just like paper, but maybe it's, you know, I'll change the size of the page, or I'll just like futz around with the stuff, and just making it look different visually can help. And you can do that as many times as you want. Like if you want to change the color every 30 minutes to help you keep focused, or change the font every 30 minutes, whatever works best for you, whatever is your cup of tea. You could try handwriting the next scene if that helps, just to like do it in a different medium. My phone's about to die, so I have to plug it in, and then it's shifted. You can handwrite the scene, that can help sometimes. Writing, it's more tactile than typing, and there's more processes that happen like between your brain and all the things. Like there's all these studies about handwriting versus notes and all these things. You can Google it, you can look into it. Maybe don't Google it, because do good research and check your sources. But you could try that, and then if you get, even if it's just like a couple of paragraphs, that can help ignite that inspiration, and then you can go back to your computer, type it up, and go forward. But it's just trying different things. And even if you only write one sentence and it's a bad sentence, that's okay. Like there have been times where I have sat down to write and I wrote 2 paragraphs and I hated it. That's what just happened, which I'm gonna talk about that in a different video, because this one is almost like 40 minutes already. Or I've been recording for 40 minutes. Even if you just write 2 paragraphs, I hated what I wrote, but I was like, I have progressed more than, you know, before, and I didn't have anything. And then my next session, I went back, I reread what I wrote, and I was like, cool. And then I was like more, and it wasn't like instantaneous, like, oh, I'm all in the zone, but I had more of an idea of what I wanted to happen. And I was able to go back and I rewrote those 2 paragraphs like 3 times. And like the second try, I was like, okay, I've got more ideas about what I want to happen. And then that third try, that's when I was like in the zone going through it, and I was able to complete that scene. And it's like cool, and it's not different than what my outline was, but it's completely different in pacing and tone than those 2 bad paragraphs. But I never would have gotten to that better scene without those 2 bad paragraphs. That's the whole point of it, is to keep going and not give up or not get stuck. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it for this video. What did you think of it? Were the tangents too much? I've been told they can be too much sometimes, but sometimes they're fun, they're fine, because I try to circle back. That's why I have my notes in front of me, so that I can circle back. I think I started off, I'm sorry, I thought there was someone looking at me from the stairs. Did I start off talking at a regular voice and start whispering later on? Or was I talking at this level the entire time? Is my treadmill sound bothering you? Like, is it too loud? Is it like annoying to you? Or is it just like a nice background sound that makes your ears happy? Am I still whispering? That was whispered. That was whispered. I am gonna go change my clothes. My outfit was cute. I'm not gonna do the pose again. We don't know what happened the last time I did the pose. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you're reading. I've been reading The Wishing Game. I have also been reading. Where is it? I don't know why I was going sideways. That was a bad idea. I'm just gonna turn this off now. I have been reading The Wishing Game. I'm currently on page 116 or 117. 117 at the bottom. There's a gap. There's a gap right here. So I read to here. So I'm right there. The host has just appeared. If you've read the book, then you know what I'm talking about. It's a cute book. I really like it. I've also been reading Children of Blood and Bone. I own the first book. Read it. I love it. I love it so much. I love it. It's one of my favorite book series that I've ever read so far. Went and got the second book immediately. I got the audiobook from the library. I wanted to get the ebook or get the physical book. The physical book wasn't available at my local branch, and the other branches, it was checked out. And the ebooks, it was like a 7-month wait to get the ebook on both of my library apps. I have 2 library apps, and the wait was long for both of them because they're turning it into like a movie. And so I think a lot of people are back on the Children of Blood and Bone. It's on their radar again. I wish I had known that. I just picked it up, and I've been wanting to read it since I got it a couple years ago. I'm like a big mood reader, and like even though I might be loving a book, if my focus is if I'm having issues with my focus, I can't enjoy the book even if I'm loving it, even if it's so amazing. And so I was finally in a place where I could focus, and I completed the first book in like 2 or 3 days, which is a lot because I have a full-time job. I work from 9. My voice got all nasally. I work from 9 to 7, and then in my free time, I try to write, and I try to work out for 10 to 30 minutes a day. Now, do I do that all the time every day? Let's just say I stopped tracking my workouts in my bullet journal because I was not doing that every day. I also haven't done my bullet journal since April. Yeah. So those videos are like, usually if I even if I stop doing like the vlogs or the reading journal like videos, I usually will still put out the bullet journal videos because it's really easy to make and they're really quick. I haven't done my bullet journal. I don't know, I just like kind of stopped everything, and I'm getting back into it because I miss it and I like it. And even if only 2 people watch it and it's my mom and my best friend, that's fine by me. I have ended this video several times, and this time I'm for real. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know what you're watching. Put any recommendations in the comments below. Did you like this kind of tangent, ADHD style rambling of a video with a little bit of a topic mixed in? Or do you prefer my more strict, structured, scripted, reading off a teleprompter videos with less personality, I might say? I could add personality when I'm reading with a teleprompter, but I'm just really focused on reading and like whatever. Anyways, let me know if you like it. If you don't, if you want me to mix it, what's going on. Get a library card. Bye.